we're going to kick off this show in a unique way. We're welcoming our first ever non-musical guest. He's been in the news recently after going viral for an incredible third place ribbon win at the Kentucky State Fair in the miniatures category. Give it up for Preston Poling. Preston, come on up. Let's talk. As you can see, I modeled this set after your miniature.
I would prefer to be in that chair, actually.
Yeah, that one has been fucked on
freaking
plenty.
me out, dude.
Real quick, who came out because Preston was going to be on the show tonight? You got some fans out here, and I'm really excited to have you on. Like I said, you are our first non-musical guest.
No pressure, then.
Unless you pull out a miniature guitar at some point and surprise us all. But I'm not anticipating that. All right, well, for the people who don't know, tell us who you are, maybe where you're from, what you do, shoe size, stuff like that, whatever.
My name's Preston. I'm known on social media as the Bearded Miniaturist. I make fun stuff based on television shows and movies and set recreations, stuff like that. Sometimes it's serious, sometimes it's tongue-in-cheek, sometimes it gets me in trouble, you know.
Sometimes like this time.
Like this time and last time. It got me in trouble twice.
Yeah.
You didn't hear about it last time because I got in trouble before the fair actually started, and they said, hey, come get your shit. And I said, okay. This time it was after everybody had seen it, so.
I don't know if anyone knows about, I guess no one knows about that, right? The last time?
No, that was kept under wraps. So I had brought 3 exhibits last year to the fair.
Yeah.
And I'd set them up, everything was great, the lights were going and everything was cool, and I left, and then I got a phone call. It's like, you need to come back. And I'm like, why, what's up? We need you to take one of these back, you can't do it. Now, I agree, you know, it was, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I knew putting it out there, I'm like, this is probably not gonna fly, but I had to give it a shot because that's what I do.
All right, before we talk too much about that, how did you get into the miniature game? Like this, you know, it's not your average artistic calling.
Yeah, it's not. So during COVID, I was really bored. I had nothing to do. I was just kind of sitting around, and I'm like, you know, there's a television show that I watch a lot called Frasier, and people had done the set for Seinfeld.
One Frasier fan, I know it's Jake.
We got one.
We have one. We've got the biggest Frasier fan.
No,
I think we've got a couple out.
You got at least 2.
I'm sure we have at least 2.
So I had seen the Friends set, and I'd seen the Seinfeld set, and I'm like, nobody's done Frasier, and I don't like to do things that other people have done. No matter how much I like it, I feel like it's already been done. So,
yeah.
So I did that set. It was one of my favorite shows, and I recreated it, and it went crazy during COVID. Everybody's bored. They're looking at stuff, and so they encouraged me to do more stuff, and I'm like, well, I kind of liked it, so what the hell? So I kept building, and from that I started on a television show called Best in Miniature in Canada, and I was on that for the whole season. And
guys, we have a TV star in our midst tonight.
Just kept building.
Hell yeah. Well, you know, it doesn't count as much in Canada, I don't think.
It's worth more.
It is, I'm sure. No, Canadian TV is some of my favorite TV. I don't even want to get on to a whole Letterkenny trip. But, so you did that TV show. You're still relatively new to the miniature game, though.
I am, yeah. So I'm, you know, I've only been doing it for about 4 years. And I just enjoy it. It's something I like to do. I do custom commissions for people, so sometimes I build doll houses, like museum quality doll houses or collector's doll houses, things like that. And then sometimes I get to do what I want to do, and that's usually when I start getting in trouble, when I'm like, ooh, I'm fresh out of commissions, what can I do? And then that's usually when I get in trouble.
All right, so let's talk about last year's piece that got pulled before it was even entered.
Okay, so last year's piece was interesting. It was called, they call it Stockholm Syndrome, we just call it Love.
That was the title.
That was the title, and it said it right on the front, and it was a sexy dungeon. There were floggers and chains, but in my defense, there are the little Polaroids and stuff that were scattered about. I made sure that there was no real nudity in that. It came really damn close, but I wanted to make sure that there was nothing you could look at and say, that's really just blatantly X-rated.
Yeah, a kid shouldn't
It's all
see this.
insinuated, you know?
Right.
So I was pushing the envelope quite a bit with that one, and then when they didn't let me in, I'm like, all right, I got you next year. So I made something that I figured could slide under the radar a little bit, and I'm like, you're not going to know it till you know it, and by then it's too late.
Yeah. And did you win anything last year?
Yeah, last year I won first place.
Hell yeah, with the Fraser set.
Yeah, with the Cafe Nervosa from Fraser. Yeah, it was one of my two Fraser sets that won first place.
Amazing. So this year you decided I'm gonna sneak it in.
I snuck it in. Yeah, this year I snuck it in. I thought it was really interesting. I had 4 ribbons this year. I had the 3rd place ribbon for the casting couch, and then I had Expert in Craftsmanship Award for the Goodnight Moon build that I did. And then I got Best in Show and first place for the Walking Dead build that I did. So I thought
that one was awesome, by the way.
I thought it was really cool to get Best in Show and get the hell out of the show. You know,
Yeah.
I got both awards in one year. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, Best in Show and booted from the show.
Right, yeah.
Okay, well,
I wish they gave a ribbon for that. That would be a really cool ribbon. Get out of the show.
Oh yeah, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
The fair is missing out on so many cool ribbons they could do. Don't get me started on the mold. Do you people know about my campaign for the mold? McKella does. We'll talk about it in the middle of the show. I'll go on a rant. So they gave you the 3rd place ribbon, and then like the next day. Well, tell me the order of events,
Okay.
because this kind of blew up on social media when
did.
people
So-
realized what it was.
So I've entered the fair 3 years and won first place 3 years. I skipped a year because I was in Canada doing the show and couldn't make it. And usually I like to go the day the fair starts and check it out and see. Well, this year I didn't even have a chance because everybody was sending pictures and I didn't have to go.
Yeah.
But then I wanted to get up there and, you know, shoot a video for social media and that kind of thing. And I went, and everything was fine. The build was there. Everything, the ribbons were there. And then the very next day, we're sitting over at Danny Mac's in Melwood. We're having a pizza, and I get all these messages. They're like, "Dude, we're here to see this. Where is it?" And I'm like, "It's on the corner. There's 3 tables, and you know what it looks like. It's on the corner
Yeah,
of
right
one
there.
Of
I got a great
it's,
spot.
Yeah, it's like if you see a table with miniatures, you're probably a third of the way there. You know.
Yeah.
And but they started sending me pictures, and it was missing. So the next day, I paid my $30 admission fare to go check it out. And that's what I did the next morning because people were going to go investigate it for me. They're like, "We'll go get to the bottom of this." I'm like, "Oh, hold on just a minute. I'll handle this."
Yeah.
You know. So I went to check it out, and it was gone.
Did you think it had been stolen?
I
at first?
did. Yeah, I thought it had been stolen.
Because I saw your initial post with the missing.
Well, I thought if they took it down, they'd do the same thing they did every year. I get in trouble. They'd give you a call.
Yeah,
you
they
know,
let
they'd
you
be
know.
like, "Hey, come back again." But I didn't get a call. I didn't get an email. I didn't get anything. And the Best in Show ribbon was missing too. And I had wondered, I'm like, "Where's all my stuff?" I thought somebody couldn't get their hands on the casting couch, so they're like, "I'll take his other ribbon," and just ripped it off as
Yeah.
a souvenir. I'm like, "What a lame souvenir, you know, ribbon you didn't win. I'll give you something else. Don't steal it, you know."
Yeah.
Um,
I'll make you a tiny couch.
Right, I'll
I
make
have
you
the
something
technology,
else. Just
man.
give me my stuff. So yeah, that was missing too. And I found out later while I was there, I got the troopers. They followed me over. They're doing their thing, and they're like, "So what's your piece? What's missing?" I'm like, "It's the casting couch." "Yeah, we saw that on Facebook." I'm like, "Okay, great. Yeah,
Yeah.
that one's mine." They're like, "Oh, we'll find it." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So the troopers come over and we talked to the superintendent of hobbies, and she's like, "Yeah, we took it." And she came out with the ribbon, the Best in Show ribbon, and I'm like, "Well, what's the deal with that? Do I get to keep it? You know, how priggish are we going to be with this thing?"
That was a question I wanted to ask you. Like, did you get to keep the ribbons, or are these vacated like the 2013
Yeah, I was-
NCAA championship?
I was-
I know.
I was
I'm sorry,
afraid
it's
of
only been
that.
11 years.
But yeah, they let me keep.
They did let you keep it.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's like, "You earned them before we knew that you were an ass.
A fucking-
So you get to keep them." Yeah.
A fucking lecherous weirdo.
Right. So.
You devil. So what inspired, I guess it seems like pornography inspired the casting couch more than anything, but maybe it was just a way to sneak in something.
The research for the project was really fun.
Yeah.
I like to be very detail oriented in
Really
all of
get
my
the
builds,
ins and outs
so
of
I
the
feel like I
ribbon.
need a lot of footage to accomplish that. So I did scour, some things, and it got old, but
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun doing the research.
Yeah, you got to move genre.
But really, I just wanted to find something that was going to get in there, and I know that sometimes, when we're being dragged around to these things, we're like, okay, do I need to see another quilt or another plant or another miniature or whatever it is, no matter how much you like it, you only want to see so many. And my hope was that whoever that person was that's like, I'm at the end of my rope with this shit, rounds the corner and they see it and they're like, I'm having fun again. I just wanted people to see it. I wanted you guys to have fun with it. And I wanted to, stick it to the man a little bit for kicking me out last year.
Fuck yes. I told you this earlier. This is a crazy crowd tonight. I have to make them stop. I told you this earlier. When my wife and I saw it, she noticed it. I think I was looking the other way. You zip through all that stuff. And she was like, oh, look at that. It's like sweat marks on that couch, like someone's legs. And I was like, oh, yeah, nice. And then I saw it later that day on social media. I was like, I looked right at the casting couch. I'm very familiar with it. I make jokes about, please come sit on my casting couch every Tuesday. And it like went under my radar. So like, it does seem like it was the perfect thing to sneak under the judges' noses.
It was.
In plain sight.
The sweat was a last minute I finished it and I'm looking at it and I'm like, I know what needs to be there, but am I going to do that,
Yeah.
Because I really tried to make it as, inconspicuous as possible. I'm like, if you don't know what it is, I didn't want there to be any way for you to Google it, to identify it, to know. And I'm like, I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I didn't put an ass sweat stain right there in the middle. I wouldn't be able to forgive myself.
Yeah.
It would have been a tragedy.
So, for a while you were worried, did they take it out to the dumpster and throw it up against the wall and spit on it, curse your name? But they didn't. They gave it back to you. You got it back yesterday. So I'm sure everyone's seen it, but has anyone not seen it? Right up front. Well, we have it. We have it here in the flesh tonight. You guys want to see it? All right. Let's unveil that bad boy.
I feel like I should be doing this in a sexy. I'm not going to, but I
Do we
feel
have sexy
like
music?
I should be like.
I've got this. Is this sexy?
We'll put a boot in your ass. It's the American way.
Give it up for the casting couch! Now, whenever it was on display, this is what it looked like, but you showed me a little piece that you could add on today that really gives it away.
Like I said, I didn't want you to be able to do this at the fair, but it was built with spite in mind. And so magnetically, there's a little magnet right here.
The
So when it's on
casting
display,
couch.
you can see exactly what it is. When we're at the fair, and I don't want anybody to know, you can take it off. So,
Are you
it was built
playing
with a little
sexy
spite
music?
in mind.
So, well, I know you had a little vendetta against the fair. Now that they've removed it and you got all this controversy, you got all this buzz, essentially it did kind of help you out.
It did, and my vendetta wasn't that deep. It was just for fun. You know? I'm like, all right, I got you next year.
So
that's
now, do you harbor any ill will toward the Kentucky State Fair?
no. We're
still on good terms.
I built this so that everyone could have fun with it, and I could have fun with it. I didn't realize the nation was going to have fun with it, but I'm glad that they did. I'm glad that everybody's seen it. I'm glad it's, one of my proudest moments, other than sitting in this couch, was
this has to be the number one.
Other than this one, was when I saw it in Vice. When I saw it on Vice, I was like, oh, I made it. I had just gotten off the phone with the New York Post, and I was talking to the Herald Leader, and then I saw it in Vice, and I'm like, oh, dude, my people. I found my people. So, yeah, it was a proud moment.
Well, I really hope that this propels your miniatures career into completely new heights. I mean, you've already been on Canadian television for a show about miniatures. I don't know how much higher you can go, brother, but
you can watch, if you want to see clips of my episodes on that, you can find it on my social media. I'm on Facebook at the Bearded Miniaturist Studios. You can find it there. You can find me on Instagram at the Bearded Miniaturist or thebeardedminiaturist.com, or my studio's right down the road at Melwood. I'm local as they get, man. I'm 2 minutes away, so stop by and see me. My fridge is always stocked with Coca-Cola and stuff. So
you can say beer. I talk about cum
is beer allowed
constantly
in
on
here?
this show.
Oh.
Yeah, we can talk about anything.
Well, there's only beer in my fridge.
Yeah,
so
okay.
I don't want to
No,
disappoint. No hot dogs or cum yet. But there
I
is
just didn't
beer.
know what you used for the grease spot, so you know, it could be anything. Do you have plans for next year's fair entry?
I do have plans for next year fair entry.
All right. I hope those are a surprise. I don't
They're
want to hear.
definitely a surprise. I can't give it away because if I give it away, then they're going to know what to expect, and I don't want that.
Hell yeah. Guys, give it up for Preston. I was so excited to have you on the show, man. And he's here with the miniature. If you want to see it up close, we've got him a little table set up over there. We're gonna get some light over there, but it's already lit up. This thing is very professionally done. So you can check it out. Meet Preston, shake his hand, pay 20, how much is an autograph? 40?
35.
$35 for an autograph, say hi, and all that stuff. So he'll be over there. Thanks for coming out to meet Preston with me. Thanks for
man.
being on the show,
Appreciate it.
buddy.